Hey everyone, this is Dan, the GM, voice of all the NPCs of What the Dice. Speaking of What the Dice, this is Season 2, and we are doing Shadowrun with a bunch of homebrew. Let's meet the players.
I'm Tizzy, and I play Voltage. Don't let this face fool you, let it shock you instead.
I'm Ethan, I play Cypher, the street samurai that cuts straight to the heart of the problem.
Nightlin here, and I play Sparkles, that satyr that has a heart of gold and a pocket full of glitter. Or was it grenades?
Hi, I'm Jared. I play P. Dexter, and the only thing faster than my bit rate is my wit rate.
Listener discretion advised. Content warning level green. Standard Shadowrun subject matter. Foul language. Sex, violence, drugs. For all of our content warning, none of these subjects go into graphic detail, but it is involved in the story of the episode. Listener discretion advised.
As the camera fades in, we find ourselves in a conference center conference room. The room around us has these plastic tables with these cheap-looking drapes across them. We see these identical chairs of brass and this retro padding. The floors are black with specklings of dark gray. To the front of the room, we see a large metal stage with a podium that is plastic. We see the words Renraku sketched into it. We see a large tritio that has been hung from a set of scaffolding. And it says, "Welcome to the Renraku Specialty Manager Training, Day 1. We look around, and then we realize we have somehow found ourselves in the same conference room as where Simon should be going. The room is empty. Assume we got here before everyone else. Looking back as we see a flash of outside light, we see Simon. He's dressed up a little bit more than we expected him to. His suit's a little bit better fitting. His step has a little bit more pride to it. We can't help but smirk at the little corpo that could, as he runs his fingers over these cheap-looking chairs. He slowly sits down, and we can see him take a deep breath as he looks down at the packet of papers that is the training that he will be going through. Running his fingers across the binding and then across the embossed letterings that state Renraku Manager in Training. He smiles. As he gets ready to crack open the book, there is a static that comes across the speaker systems around him. Hoy hoy chummers, it is Sparks here. So, a bit of news on the front down here. Wherever you might be, I'm not gonna tell you. That's not the point. Eddie's got himself a little hookup. You see, after a couple of calls and a couple of barters and a couple of agreements, seems as if a buddy of mine named Junkyard has found me a mode of transportation. Now, it's gonna be a little while before I get it all readied up and sparked out, shall we call it. So soon, Eddie Sparks is gonna be on the road. That's right, my friends. That means the spiders ain't gonna be able to track me as fast. That means Eddie is gonna be able to get some more truth out there. So, speaking of the truth and speaking of runners and what's not, seems as if our little runner friends have come into a situation. So, yeah, of course, they have proof that they met the target. They know that the target comes to this strange little warehouse. Sparkles and Cypher did their end, and now we talking about Dexter and Voltage. They want to get themselves into that security room. find out what they can. Well, Voltage was good, got in. Well, at least unlocked it. But, it seems as if there's a small hitch. It seems as if the, door has a deadbolt. A non-digital deadbolt. So not a maglock, but something that auto-locked after it closed. So, I have to laugh. Sometimes the most primal, most antiquated technology is sometimes the best when dealing with runners. Sometimes you're just too smart for your own good. So how are they going to deal with this? That's what we're going to find out. So, let's get this show on the road, shall we? We come back as the camera fades in, and we hear the hum of the AC and the lights in this empty warehouse in the distance. P. Dexter and Voltage can kind of hear the murmur of conversations as the other warehouse workers are having their lunch. P. Dexter, as you grab that handle to that door and you begin to slowly turn, expecting that satisfying click of a door that is unlocked, you feel resistance.
Damn. Subvocal, I'm gonna report to the group that the door is still locked. But no one's around, correct?
As far as you know.
If there's anybody around, I'm the lookout, so is there anybody near him?
Give me a perception check.
Thought they all went to lunch, but...
Some be bullshitting, apparently.
Capped 4.
With 4 hits, as you look around, you notice that there are a couple of those little black spheres on the roof that are cameras. You can't tell if they're directly looking at you, but there's definitely some cameras around you. And you don't see any people walking around. You just hear them off in the distance, either outside or in the break room.
Hey Dex, you got no people around you, but there are 2 cameras. Can't tell if they're looking at you or me, but they are there.
Okay. Well, let's see what we can see. Is there a way for me to tell what direction those cameras are looking in?
You could pop into AR and give me a matrix perception, see if it gives any type of digital feedback or digital signature.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Okay. 5 hits.
With 5 hits, one of the ones that's off to the side, it looks like it's more pointed towards like the doors to make sure people aren't stealing crap. There is one in the center that's kind of panning, but you can kind of see that it's one of those like, it's just panning to pan. It's just doing broad sweeps. And it's trying to cover the entire warehouse as it's panning. So as it passes you, you've got, a good solid 5 minutes before it probably passes to you again.
All right, Voltage. The 2 cameras, I've clocked them. One of them is watching the doors. The other one looks like we've got a 5-minute window. The door's still locked, so if you could come and try to unlock it again. I don't know if it's an automatic lock or it didn't click, but I need it open again. Depending on how long this lunch break is, I want to see if I can get my burner or something hooked up to the other camera while that snitch is gone.
Go for it. So you guys are gonna, one's going one way, one's going the other?
I think getting into that room is more important, so I'll wait for him. I can take over lookout duties while you try to get the lock taken care of.
Okay, sounds good. Just let me know when the cameras are clear of my sight, of their sight to me.
Okay. Can I give us like a little digital? I mean, I guess I could put a heads-up display in my AR about.
Oh yeah, like setting a timer. It's literally just you going, "Hey, computer, 5 minutes, please."
So I'll create a clock in my heads-up display as soon as I mean, even now, so I know how much time I've got left till it hits and we can reset.
All right, that's easy enough.
Okay, as soon as it hits the door and pans away, I'll give him the green light, and all the other people are not here.
Most everybody's in the break room.
Fuck those people.
Who do they think they are wanting food? We didn't.
Hey, man, some people go to the parking lot to smoke on their lunch break.
So, Voltage, let's get that dice roll, see if you can pick that lock.
Am I within window?
You are clear. You have this on a timer, so you're good.
3 hits.
3 hits. It's taking you a little longer than you would expect. As the timer starts to click down to about 2 minutes down, with giving you 3 minutes remaining, you feel that tumbler click and open.
Voltage, how we doing? We clear?
I'm in.
Awesome. All right, let's switch. It looks like we've still got about 3 minutes. So I'm going to get in there, and then I'll just wait for the next window. Hopefully I can accomplish what I need to accomplish in that time.
I think I'm going to keep it slightly open this time. What do you think?
Great idea. Wedge something in the door, and I'll make my way to the door.
Now, come on now. We've all worked in a warehouse. There's no possible way that there would just be a random piece of wood or a random small item that is designed to be wedged between a door. No one would do that.
Such items don't exist, and you know it.
But yes, it is a warehouse. You are able to find a pretty much like a dead piece of roll of tape, and you're able to kind of wedge it in, make it look like it's mostly closed. Jared, as you walk in, the smell of cleaning chemicals burns your nostrils because you don't have cyber eyes, and I can't burn your cyber eyes, so I'm going to burn your nose. And you look around this very dimly lit room, and it looks like just a very large janitor's closet.
Okay. How does it look in AR?
Give me a perception.
3 hit. Nope. Sorry, 3 hits. Yep.
With 3 hits, as you glance around, you see just tucked behind a couple of boxes, a small server. It looks like they do use a security spider as you kind of move a couple of boxes around. Behind a wire rack, there's a nice, pretty comfortable looking Decker chair, so a Decker's cocoon, and a small server that is kind of nicely wedged back here. You wouldn't notice it at a first glance. In fact, unless the server was overheating and the lights were going crazy, you probably wouldn't even notice it with the lights off.
Wow. It's got a nice little nest back here. Kind of jealous. Okay. I'm gonna jack into his server if I can.
Are you going to jack into the server itself, or are you actually going to use that comfortable looking Decker chair?
Ooh. I guess I can use his chair. Yeah, I can use his chair. Maybe I'll get lucky.
Are you going to plug directly in it, or are you plugging into your deck and then plugging your deck into it? Or you can try to connect wirelessly.
Is there a benefit to using his rig that I would know of? I mean, other than maybe he's got some of his passwords saved, like some kind of scrub.
What it would be is you would be able to. You would be hacking a lower. You would be hacking into a deck and then using the deck as a bypass. So it would almost be.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Instead of fighting the server, you would be fighting his personal deck. So it'd be like logging into a computer and then into the server instead of trying to log into the server.
I'll try his. I'll try his deck.
Okay. So the question still stands: Are you jacking his cord straight into your skull, or are you plugging it into your deck first?
Oh, I'll plug it into my deck first. I'm not just gonna stick his stuff into my brain. All right. I don't know where he's been.
Hey, Dex, see if there's any cameras in there.
Cursory look around to see if there's any cameras.
Oh yeah, no, this place is clearly, like, that door is locked and probably has a maglock system that just didn't get turned on.
Okay.
Hey, Dex, should we both be in there with the door closed so it looks like nobody's in, nobody's out?
You can shut the door. I think I can get out. I guess then just go have lunch maybe, and I'll let you know when I'm done.
Alrighty.
Whatever you think would draw the least attention.
Yeah, I'm kind of hungry. I can go get lunch.
All right. So, We pan around and we see this darkened room with Dexter climbing into this pretty nice looking Decker cocoon. Once you're inside and you plug in your board and then you plug your board into you, the world digitizes for just a moment. Hoi hoi chummas, this is Dan the GM and I'm welcoming you to the mid-roll. First and foremost, thank you to all of our patrons over at patreon.com/whatthedice. Lady Lumi, Ethan, and A Relic, thank you so much for your continued support over on the Patreon. Don't forget, if you are a Patreon subscriber, don't forget to submit your custom weapons and things like that. We still have the Mexi shop in the works, and I just need to get the team to a spot where I can introduce it. It has been nuts. Absolutely nuts. We had to take like a month and a half off because of all sorts of mayhem, but we are back in recording, so hopefully we are going to keep ahead like we've been. Now, I want to also play you a quick promo. This is a podcast that we follow named the Hard Knocks Sorority. They are a 4th edition Shadowrun. You can find them on all major streaming platforms, but I've got their YouTube link. So here's their promo.
Hi, Chars. This is Zach Flash with KSAF, your last bastion of free and independent news in Seattle. Stick with us, Chummers, as we bring you the breaking news of an attempted terrorist kidnapping in the very heart of our beloved Metroplex. You heard that right, Ome. Right here in downtown Seattle, Shadowrunners, or terrorists, depending on your view of the Sixth World, attempted to kidnap a highly qualified research assistant employed by one of our favorite corporate overlords, Evo, at their Washington U research facility. We are saddened to report that this promising young woman's career was cut short in a blaze of terrorist gunfire. More details can be found in the special audio podcast, The Hard Knock Sorority, a 4th edition Shadowrun actual play that takes a deep dive into this incident in an attempt to expose the dark machinations happening in the shadows of our beloved Metroplex. The Hard Knock Sorority can be found on all Matrix podcast hosts and the YouTube. Signing off, this is Zach Flash with KSAF, bringing you my favorite rock opera, Mother of the Sea by Shieldwall.
So if you want to check out their stuff, check the links in the description. I've got what I can find from them. That's it for all of my announcements. Thank you so much for joining us each and every week. And if you want to catch me, I stream on Twitch every Tuesdays and Thursdays, as long as I get off work on time. So come hang out and just shoot the Drac with me. I'd love to see you. Other than that, thank you so much, and I will let you get back to this week's episode. You are standing what feels like on the precipice of a giant, modern-looking castle with these streaks of steel instead of stone, a moat that looks like maybe soda? It's hard to say. And you see a couple of programs running. They look like standard white ice, so nothing to be too concerned about, seeing you haven't done anything illegal. They're probably just running in the background.
Okay. So I'm trying to jack into his deck.
You are technically jacked into his deck. You need to hack into his deck now.
Gotcha. Okay, so the castle, obviously.
Yep.
Making my way downtown.
Hacking
Alright,
fast.
Hacking fast and I'm homebound. Alright.
Full dive.
I'm heading towards the castle. Yep.
All right. You get close, and you can feel the IC just scan across you. Since you haven't done anything yet, they don't seem to be clocking you. As you approach the door, you see the door has this little, as a password icon appears.
Okay. Guess I'm gonna try to sleaze that.
All right. Then sleaze that up.
Ooh, 2 hits.
You are in. You have a mark, which are able, with the one mark on, you are able to kind of slip your way in.
Okay.
Inside this man's deck, you see a gambit of programs running. It looks like he has the 6 world equivalent to LimeWire running in the background, downloading some random crappy music that looks like might be a mix of like pop and jazz. You see a couple of like movies that he is half watched as they are still up in the background. And you also see a handful of games that he is running. It looks like he's got Solitaire, a or not an MMO, but a RPG, and a couple other games just running in the background. It seems as if he is practically paid to sit and just watch this server.
I'm gonna go in and delete his most recent save file on his MMO.
Aw, dick move.
Well, that's an easy enough thing to do because the game is up and running. So you go in, you see that he's got 150 hours with the last save. What looks like, his last save's 150 hours. Save before that's like, 140 hours.
Yup, delete.
So he has lost 5 whole hours of his day job.
10 whole hours.
10 whole hours.
This is so petty.
You don't live up to the P in your name.
Oh man, yeah, I'm gonna delete his save file.
All of them?
No, just the most recent one.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? Instead of deleting, yeah, I'll just delete his most recent save file, and then I'll log him out.
Well, if you you're logging out of the MMO, like the game?
Yeah, I'll delete his save file and log out, so he can't just start from where he was.
So as you peruse around this Decker's board, that also is a little weird that he left it at work, but he might have spares, who knows? This also might just be his junker. You eventually find the main gate to the server. It is a shimmering white and blue with this strange insignia that you don't quite recognize.
There's no way for me to get a picture.
Yes, there is.
Okay. Is there? All right.
Yes, there is. It's just you're in the Matrix. You can, yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot a message to Sparkles because I don't know gangs or anything like that,
Okay.
and say, hey, I found this insignia. Any idea what it means? And I'll keep pushing.
Okay. Sparkles, please give me a knowledge gangs.
5 hits.
With the 5 hits, you study this emblem, and it doesn't look like any gang symbols you know. It looks a little too corporate. And it feels weird because of the way it's designed.
Okay. It's too sophisticated or too clean for a gang?
It's definitely too clean for a gang. It's very much that it has that corporate feel, but it doesn't look like any of the major 10.
Can I, do an image search?
Absolutely.
Okay, image search. I don't know how to do that.
You just give me a matrix search.
I don't have matrix.
Computer use.
Okay, I know I have computer use. I just gotta find it.
Mm-hmm.
4 hits.
With 4 hits, it takes you a couple minutes, but eventually you are able to kind of track it back.
Okay.
It's not it's kind of an older emblem.
All right.
And you find it where there's a lot of negative PR about it. It's a small company called Novatech.
Have I heard of Novatech before?
Roll me a memory check.
Hold on, I forgot where it is, but I will.
It literally says memory.
Yeah, but I have the good memory thing.
Eidetic?
Yes, I have eidetic memory.
Never mind. As you look at the image and you're like, Novatech, oh, you remember. Because they're not super liked. Because they were the main reason that led to the second Matrix crash.
Novatech led to the second Matrix crash?
Yes, this server is an older server that it looks like it's old Novatech gear.
Turns out deleting that game file just wiped out the internet again.
Whoops.
Novatech ended up merging in with a couple other companies creating Neonet, which is now one of the third largest megacorps. But this symbol is definitely a Novatech brand, so you are not dealing with Neonet, you are dealing with a Novatech computer or server.
Alright, so it's a Novatech server.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Alright, so the second Matrix crash, according to our What the Dice lore, 2019 was when the second Matrix launches. The first Matrix crash, or the second Matrix crash, was 2008 is when it crashed.
And that was the second or the first crash?
Second crash.
On it. I'll see what I can do. And a couple minutes go by, and she's like, okay, that's definitely not a gang symbol. And if my memory serves me right, that's actually an old Novatech symbol. And Novatech, I think, was like responsible for like the second Matrix crash or something. It was bad, but they're now called Neonet.
Interesting.
But it's definitely not a gang.
Okay. An old corp. Okay.
Well, yeah, an old corp responsible for the great second crash. You know, that was a while ago.
Maybe he used to work for him.
He could potentially be a part of that. I don't know. They're called Neonet now, but that symbol came from when they were like Novatech or whatever.
Good to know. I guess.
So hacky into the server.
Yep.
As you reach towards the password icon and you tap on it, a second window pops up on your screen, and it shows the username, password, as if someone has taken the time to save all of their passwords on a work computer.
Wait, like an actual document?
No, like, have you ever been on a website where if you click on your username, it'll say, like, you have these saved screen names?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, like the drop-down menu is a bunch of his usernames?
Yep.
Okay, taking a picture of that really quick.
Okay.
Is there a way to see the passwords? Can I go ahead and just pirate all of his usernames and passwords real quick?
You would need to find the actual memory of this deck. This is basically just referencing information.
Okay. Alright, so it pulls up his username, right? Does it autofill his password for it too?
Yep.
Can I see the password, or is it...
No, it's all start out.
Damn. Alright.
So you've got 3 choices of screen names and passwords.
I'll start with the one at the top.
Click on the one at the top, and the doors slowly open. And you actually are in a digital representation of the warehouse, minus the room you're in. This is more like a guard tower with a spotlight that looks down across, and you see another spotlight that is floating off in the distance. This is definitely the camera controls, and you can see these nodes moving around. They are little programs that are basically scanning the comings and goings. Basically, it looks like maybe the tracking software that the boxes have on them. So you see the thing moves in, it beeps, you see a code of like reference as it scans off. But the spotlight in front of you is definitely the one that you had fixed based on its placement.
Okay, so this was the one like next to it in the warehouse, next to his office.
Yep.
Okay. I'd like to get... Well, it wasn't recording, so it doesn't have any recordings of anyone who had handled those packages there. I want to check the last recording, and then I want to set it up so I can get copies of the recordings.
Okay. So I need you to roll a hacking so that you can get your marks on it. You would just need one, so just give me a hacking roll to see if you can bypass the security on this.
3.
You net 3. So you've got your marks.
Okay.
So you are going to set up to where it basically forwards you the information, or forwards you a copy.
I like to be a ghost in the system. And then I want to check the last recording.
As you click on the last recorded, you see the warehouse, and it looks like it might be winter. You can kind of see a little bit of snow from where people are trucking in and out. It's definitely nighttime, but the one thing that you notice that's different is the warehouse workers. They are dressed in black suits, and they are moving smaller boxes around. You see your target look around. He reaches into a box that doesn't seem to have a label, and you see him shove something into his pocket. Looks like a small brick of some kind. Then you see him look around, and then he sees the camera. With a quick glance around, he reaches into his pocket, produces a small switchblade, and walks up. And as you see him reach underneath the camera goes staticky.
Download a recording of that.
That's easy enough. Alright, with that recording download, is there anything else you'd like to do while in the Matrix?
Can I access the drone? Do the drones record?
You would have to get into the drone software system.
Okay.
But most drones don't have... They have, like, very simple dog brains. It's basically pick up box, put box away. Pick up box, put box away. They might not record. There's a high chance they don't.
Or they just have, like, a barcode scanner and they use that. Yeah. I've seen forklifts that can drive you to the right spot, so that makes sense.
One of the things that you are noticing while being in this server, in this node, this is like low-end tech. This server is definitely this server computer is probably like 10 years old. The camera system that you're seeing, though that it is higher quality, it would kind of remind you of like a 2K screen.
Gotcha.
It's clear enough to where you can see details, but something looks a little off. Even the Matrix itself, this node feels, I don't want to say syrupy, but there's definitely a latency that you're feeling.
Okay, so something's running in the background?
Or it's just a really crappy server setup. Like, just low-end crap.
Okay, well, I'm in his deck. Can I check and see what he's actually doing, other than playing video games?
Oh yeah, you can jump back to his deck and poke around.
Yeah, I want to see what functions he has control of and what he's running.
Okay. Let's see. We need you to roll. Give me a matrix perception. I'm sorry, a matrix search. That's a computer plus int.
6 hits.
With 6 hits, you poke around, and it looks like this is definitely... This is probably a low-end deck that he bought just for this job. You don't see any of those personal touches that a decker would have. You don't see... Okay. This looks like it might even be a second-hand deck. Like, this might be something he got on the cheap. As you poke around, though, you notice that it's not just music that he is downloading. You see a lot of heavily encrypted files.
Okay. I'm gonna say sub vocal. I think I'm gonna steal this dude's deck when I leave here. So I'm gonna make a beeline straight for the door when I do leave, because I'm gonna take his shit with me.
Ooh, did you find something good?
It seems like he's got he's got a lot of stuff running. He's downloading a lot of stuff, and some of them are really encrypted files I'd like to take a look at. Maybe have your girl take a look at.
there any way he can track it back to you?
I mean, that's what guns are for.
I mean, that's legit.
Hey, I'm all about it.
Go for it.
Okay, so now that I know I'm gonna swipe his stuff when I leave, I don't need to worry about. Well, I feel like I don't need to worry about what he is downloading. I'll figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
Can I get an idea of where he's getting these files from?
You will need to give me a race. So you're gonna need to get another mark on on the deck. So you'll need to roll me another hack.
Oof. I'm gonna have to burn an edge on that.
All right. Burn that
Reroll
beautiful
it
edge.
all. I mean, at least it wasn't a critical glitch, right?
I mean, it was 0. But yeah, you're right. At least it wasn't a critical glitch. That's better. 5 hits. Worth the edge point.
With the 5 hits, you actually net 4 of them. You are able to trace this icon back, and this guy's not an amateur decker. He's got this signal bouncing around, and as you track it back to where it's coming from, I don't want to tell you how your character feels, but this signal is definitely coming from the Golden City Tower. You don't know where exactly inside the tower, but this is definitely syncing up and downloading files from the main government hub of the Golden City.
Wow. I'm impressed. I'd almost want to be friends with this guy. Alright. Well, yeah, now I'm definitely stealing his deck. I'd like to know what he got his hands on. I'll say in subvocal, this guy's up to some pretty gnarly stuff.
How gnarly is gnarly?
He's stealing encrypted files from the Golden City Tower, from their central hub.
That's
Dude.
impressive.
He must have balls big enough to come in a dump truck.
Seriously?
Yeah, I'm definitely stealing his deck now.
Hey, you don't think he's gonna catch you doing it, do you? Like, if he's that ballsy, is it... I mean, totes want it. Don't get me wrong, but is it smart?
I mean, I know where he works. We can come back and shoot him.
I mean, that's fair. I got grenades for days.
Also, if whoever owns this warehouse employs them, they employ us too.
Well, I mean, yeah, the mafia is who employs this place, so...
Maybe they'll just ask for it nicely back.
I mean, yeah... I mean, does that mean we're stealing from the people who are hiring us, or is this just vital pieces of information to get the information that they want us to get?
I like that. Let's go with that. You tell them that lie. That's a good one.
Got it. I stole it for out of your best interests.
Like you said, nothing a hail gunfire won't solve.
Mafia might outgun me, but I don't know if they can out-grenade me.
I did find a video of someone stealing from them, so I think I got what I need.
Yeah, you got the marks on tape of him taking some kind of brick out of a box.
Right.
And that's our dude that we've been tracking, right? That was on camera stealing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, I got what I need, so I'm gonna get out of here.
Play it cool and play it safe.
Yep.
So, safe log out?
Yep.
Okay. Are you shutting down the deck, or are you leaving it running when you unplug it?
Man,
Will bad things happen if he leaves it running or turns it off?
Page 17 or 26?
right.
Choose your own decking adventure.
Right now, it is hardwired into the Matrix server. If he unplugs it, it will switch to a wireless signal, and it will continue to download. As a decker, he would know this.
Right.
Now, if you shut it off, if the server that it is in is a proxy server, or if it is a password server, if you shut it down, you might have to log into the server again.
Right, that's what I'm thinking.
But the Matrix is mostly wireless at this point. So it is 100% up to you.
I'm gonna leave him logged in till I'm out of the building.
Okay.
I don't want any alarms going off.
Okay. As you carefully sign out of the Matrix, and you pull yourself into reality, and you begin to carefully take this thing out and unplug all the wires carefully enough, letting the system switch over to its wireless signal as you go. And you start to walk towards the exit. We are going to end this episode here. As the camera fades in, we see Simon. He is standing off to the side during a break time of this conference. He is talking with several elves and dwarves. It seems as if they are discussing trading notes from the event of the day. We inch ourselves a little closer to peer over his shoulder to see what has been written. And we see something that is, for a runner, rather disheartening. A lot of pro-corporate lingo that he has been writing. It seems as if this promise for a promotion has driven someone who started to have this hatred slowly start to grow about this corporation's abuse to a satisfaction. They're happy. They are complacent. We have to chuckle as he walks away from the group, reaches into his pocket and puts the earbud in. And as he does, but a mere second later, we hear the static. Well, my friend. It seems as if the P in P Dexter stands for petty motherfragger. Man, not only is the man stealing, and I mean just outright stealing, another decker's deck, but he also deleted a game save. I mean, stealing a deck's one thing. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do to get the job done. I mean, we've all been there. But it's like, I'm just gonna twist that now, just a little bit. Just a little bit. And delete your save. Or at least some of your save. Man. Ooh boy, when a decker wanna be decking and then wanna be petty, it seems as if your P-Dex is the pettiest of them all. Well, they got some strange encrypted files. Got the video proof that they are looking for. And looks like they are just one tiny step closer to getting to payday. So, he is hoping. Well, unfortunately, my little flashy light's telling me that a spider is starting to feel me in its web. Well, we can't have them track us now, can we? So we're gonna head out. Don't forget, my friends, the rules of running. Stick to the shadows. Always keep your gun loaded. And never make a deal with a fraggin' dragon. This is Edis Box, and I am signing out.
Hey everyone, Nightland here, co-creator of What the Dice, and player of Sparkles for Season 2, to do some thank yous here at the end of our episode. First and foremost, I would like to thank each and every single one of you for listening. We would not be here today without you, and I do mean that sincerely. We never thought we would get this far, and knowing that there's someone out there, yeah, I'm talking to you, the one with the earballs listening right now. If it wasn't for you guys and us knowing that you're actually here and enjoying what you're listening to, we wouldn't have kept going, and it genuinely fills our heart with joy, and I want to make sure that we tell you every single time at the end of these episodes. We are eternally grateful. Second, we would like to take a moment to thank all the things that we use in our day-to-day What the Dicey ways. First up, Epidemic Sound for our sound effects and music, Podbean for being our host, Foundry VTT, and Forge VTT for creating their virtual tabletop gaming applications and services, CraigBot for our recordings, Catalyst Game Labs for Shadowrun,
which is the current system we are running. And with that, if you can spare a moment of effort and want to help us out, the best thing that you can do is honestly tell a friend, share us, drop a link in a Discord somewhere that you're a part of, or take that 2-second effort of hitting a like, hitting a follow, giving us a star rating. Whatever the button is on whatever it is that you're listening to us on goes a long way in helping us fight that horrible algorithm monster. Also, the Topps Company Inc. has sole ownership of the names, logo, artwork, marks, photographs, sound, audio, video, and or any proprietary material used in the connection with the game Shadowrun. The Topps Company Inc. has granted permission to What the Dice to use such names, logos, artwork, marks, and or any proprietary material for the promotional and informational purposes on its website, but does not endorse and is not affiliated with What the Dice in any official capacity whatsoever.
Hey Google, start a timer for 5 minutes.
No, if we're gonna do that, we got to do it right. So we set off somebody's thing. So
That's why I whispered it in a funny voice, so mine didn't do it.
Google, one step below the Matrix.